What's up, guys? Let me know if the music's too loud and if you can hear me all right. Yeah, of course, Morph Market. Gotta see if we can find anything that we can't afford. Who all we got up in here? Let's see. Is it coming through all right? Everything sound good? Look good? The playback on my side is not working right. And let me know, by the way, if... Oh, hang on. It says my camera battery's gonna die. Everybody hold on just a second. Or it already did die, and that's why my playback's not working. Alright, stand by. Bear with me, hang on. I gotta get that adapter that lets me just plug this in and run it non-stop. That thing's pretty cool. Alright, give me just a second here while I put this back in. Alright, there's that. Bear with me just a second. Oh, there it goes. It's back. Alright, I gotta get rid of... Crap, how do I get rid of that again? There we go. Alright, let me know, just make sure before we move on. Are you guys seeing the camera, first of all? And if so, do you see the white box around my face that keeps moving like I had last time? Nobody told me I had face tracking showing up in the video. So, let me know. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Wrong button. Close. Let me know if you can see me in the video, and if it all looks okay. Alright, basically, we're just gonna hang out. Don't really have... Looks good. Volume's low. Volume's low on me or on the music, or both. TNT. We're basically just gonna hang out for maybe 20-30 minutes or so. I'm gonna hopefully start doing these weekly if I got time to do it with my work schedule and that. I did a Instagram live video yesterday, so I'm gonna try to do Instagram on Saturday nights and YouTube on Sunday nights. Just hang out. TNT says he cannot really hear me. Okay. Um, cannot really hear me. That's volume mixer. You should bring to a place you get your snake cards printed. Is this the right one here? Oops. Master volume. Can you hear me? I mean, how's it all? The delay. Oh. Understand the delay, like when we're watching Logan streaming that. TNT, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Everything looks good on my end. If anybody else can't hardly hear me, let me know, and I'll see if I can do something about it. But I just can't find anywhere else to turn that up any higher. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna do live on here on hopefully Sunday nights. Just hang out, chat. You guys can ask questions. We can talk snakes. We can talk community. We'll do maybe some games and some giveaway stuff. I've got I've obviously got Morph Market pulled up here. So yeah, if there's anything you guys want to know, obviously you can see the chat as well, which is nice for people watching on like their TV or whatever if they're not chatting with us. And after the fact, if they're watching after the live, I like having the chat so you can read it. So yeah, we'll go through a couple of these here. I am rocking the Olympus Reptiles shirt. I didn't get a chance to get to Denver last weekend. Matt was down there again, but I met him last year at the same show, so that was pretty cool. Courtney says I should bring you guys, bring the live to the place where I get the snake cards printed. Yeah, I could. I'm actually gonna have to reprint all of those again. I don't have to, but I'm going to. We're doing some slight updates to our design, so I will print them again. Bridget, best time to breed snakes. I don't know that there is a best time, and this is my first season, so I don't know if we're doing it right. I know that if those that don't intentionally breed year round, overwhelmingly start in the fall, is my understanding. So right about now, most people are starting now or have already started or will be starting very soon. It just seems like it happens somewhat naturally with the change of the weather and pressure and stuff like that. So I am pairing now. I've gotten a handful of really good locks, it looks like, from a couple different pairs. Some are being really stubborn, but we got all winter, so I'm not going to get in a hurry about it. Love your video about the rack build. What thermostat you use for? LKB, I use all Herbstat 1 and 2s, the blue ones. I don't use red lines because I don't like the look of them. That's literally the only reason. And they are completely identical with the exception of the color, from my understanding. But I'm really OCD about that kind of stuff, so I like everything to match. So I use all Herbstat 1s and 2s. I might invest in a 4 at some point here, so I can reallocate some of the 1s and 2s I have elsewhere. I just haven't taken the plunge yet, and it makes me a little bit nervous having that many animals on one. But you look at like the Freedom Breeder racks, there's 40 tubs, 40 animals on their thermostats, and they work great. So I am I got a suggestion from a buddy of mine. I am going to do a video when I do my next rack build, which should be coming up very soon. I need to build another 10 high. I'm going to do a video about the thermostat, what kind I use, how I program it, where I set the probes up, stuff like that. So I'll have a pseudo herpstat review and setup guide along with the next build video. Let's see. What's going on, Pumpkin Patch? Thanks for joining. TNT asks, what do you think is the best gene for a new breeder to get into? That's all personal preference, man. I will tell you, anything recessive, you can't go wrong there. If you're paying attention to some of the big players in the game, they're all working, multi-gene recessive or double and triple recessive combos. So recessive for sure is where to go. If you really like clowns, get into clowns. If you really like pieds, get into pieds. Do whatever it is that you really like, whatever style or kind that you really like. But I would definitely get into recessives. If you haven't started your collection yet, but you're doing your research in that, go check out my how to build a collection video on the channel. It's certainly not a perfect how-to guide, just my opinion on how I would redo this if I could start over again. But in short, I can show you basically, like I said, use recessives. So I would recommend getting a bunch of multi-gene heterozygous females of whatever recessive you pick. So while we got Morph Market up here, let's say you want to get into pieds. So come down here to pied, right? I don't have my glasses on. Right here. Click on the orange one. So if you're new to Morph Market, with the recessives, pink is visual, orange is 100% heterozygous, yellow is anything less than 100%, 50%, 66%, so forth. In the codoms, blue is incomplete dominant, and purple is superform. So we come down here to the 100% hets. Now we're going to put my internet to the test since we're streaming all this. Then we're going to go to filter and set female. And then you could even say, okay, I want to do a minimum of 2 genes. One of them will be het pied, so consider that. But this would eliminate any normals. So I would just do this. Look through here, find some stuff that you really like. And it's in your price range, obviously. And like an Enchi het pied from Constriction Addiction. Enchi pieds tend to be very low white and show a lot of pattern, which is really cool. So you can get a couple stuff, get 3, 4, 5 like this, and then when you're ready, when they're all grown up and ready to go, then you come in here and you select a visual pied in male and find something that you really, really like in a visual pied, like a banana pied like I have, or whatnot, that would complement all of the females that you have. And you can run the same male to 4 or 5 females, and that would give you an opportunity to produce a lot of males and a lot of combinations and stuff like that. So that's kind of the synopsis. That's kind of how I would do it. But whatever you pick, definitely recessive, for sure. Let's see. Let's get back up here a little bit. The genes that I am into, well, I do have some base building block codom stuff I'm working on. So what I mean by that is like I have a dragonfly male that I'm putting to a fire female. That's not anything groundbreaking. It'll make fires, super fires, fireflies, and dragonflies, and possibly normals. But let's say for instance I get a couple of super fire females. Well, now I can keep those and start working my recessive males into them for multiple hets and not produce any normals. So I'm doing stuff like that, but as far as recessives go, pied, clown, ultramel, desert ghost, we're going to have, or lavender albino I've got as well. We're going to have Axanthic here shortly. I'm doing group or a pairing project with a buddy of mine with a lavender snow, which is a double recessive project, and I guess it's not really a recessive, but scaleless head if you want to consider it the scaleless. I do have scaleless heads, which are the heterozygous form of scaleless, so that's the other one that I'm using or I'm into. I do really want to get into at some point tri-stripe, G-stripe. I've got hypo as well. That's another recessive. Monsoon is insane. Sunset obviously looks really cool. Rainbow is nuts. Monarch looks awesome. Again, all recessives, but that kind of stuff is really, really expensive still. Let's see here. I'm a new breeder and I'm into pieds. Yeah, Bridget, if you're into pieds, I mean pieds sell well too. If you want looking to sell them at some point, pieds sell really well, and I think always will. Especially in like local shows and that, for pets, who wouldn't want something that looks like this, So, in your opinion, what recessive is underrated from LKB? That's a good one, LKB. I think tri-stripe is not done enough. I think there's a lot that could be done with that. It is so pattern commanding though, so you got to be careful with that, I guess. And I think actually, in honesty, a lot of people have kind of passed on and looked over hypo recently, because they're working on these big, double, triple recessive combos with clown pieds and dreamsicles, and there's nothing wrong with that. Believe me, I'm trying to get there. But yeah, I think there's a lot to do in puzzles still, but it's still fairly new, so that's not an underrated gene by any means. And I think Ultramel, I think that's the other one. I think Ultramel is going to make a huge surge back before too long. I know in the case of Daniel Allison at Constriction Addiction, he is making some ridiculous Ultramel stuff right now. And whatever line of Ultramel, I'm not saying there's different variants, but his breeding stock of Ultramels are just nuts. Let's see if we can find some real quick while we're waiting here. So I think Ultramel is going to be a big one to keep an eye on. And I'm working on that too. I'm actually working into some double recessive Ultramel stuff. Is a Coral Glow Pied a banana? Yes. This is my personal opinion, but I say we all. There's a lot of people that does not look like he has any visual Ultramel stuff available right now. Pied and banana are the same thing. It's just been commonly accepted that way as far as I'm aware. It was just imports from Africa to two different parts of the country to two different people at the same time, and that one named it Ultramel, one named it banana and one named it Coral Glow. I think the original name for one of them was actually White Smoke originally, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they're the same. They're completely compatible. It just depends on who you get them from. All of my stuff is banana, and I call it banana. But it's all the same. Morph Market is great. Found my most recent female through there. It's a great way to compare combos in the same kind. Yeah, definitely. And that's something I'll do sometimes too. Is I'll come in here if I'm looking to see what something looks like that I've never seen before. You can go to World of Ball Pythons, but their pictures aren't necessarily updated all the time. So I'll just go into like browse latest like this, and I'll say like I want to know what different what different hypo pied combos look like, and you do that, and you can see not only what's for sale, but you can see hypo pied combos, and these are all current pictures. It just happens to be these are for sale. So that kind of stuff's really cool. I like that for that kind of stuff, and I like looking at other species that I either can't keep or can't afford or both. Like retics. I want a retic someday. but not a full grown. I really want to get a super dwarf lavender from Garrett Hartle at some point. But I mean, how can you not like something that looks like this? This is just insane, and they just get better with age. Alex says, how do you determine which genes to mix with what? For example, I have a fire queen bee that I got a killer deal on, but I'm not sure what I want to put with her yet. Remind me. Actually, I can prove. See, this is another cool thing. Sometimes it's hard to keep all of the genes and combos separated. So if you go to Morph Market and you click on trait combos, Queen Bee is the one I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's got lesser in it. I think it's lesser pastel spider or just lesser spider. But if you come down here, you can find, as long as it's labeled as a a commonly accepted term. That's killer. That would work as well. Queen Spin. Queen Bee. There we go. Like I said, I don't have my glasses on. Okay, so yeah. Queen Bee is lesser pastel spider. So you have a fire lesser pastel spider. So is what you have to decide what you want to make. If you want to make, let's say you want to work in clown projects and you want to make het clown variants of all of these, lesser het clown, spider het clown, queen bee het clown, stuff like that, then you got to put a clown to it, obviously, a visual clown. But if you just want to do more codon pairings, which is fine, consider what you're looking for. Anything that you put, if you put a fire of any kind to your female, you have a shot of making super fires, the all white snakes occasionally with the yellow spotching and black eyes. If you put anything in the bell complex together, because you have lesser, so any lesser, Mojave, Butter, Russo, there's others, I can't remember. Anyway, anything in the bell complex, you have a chance of making more bells, white snakes with blue eyes. So just keep that in mind. If you want most variety, maybe get a 2 or 3, maybe 4, maybe a 2 or 3 gene male that maybe has spider or Mojave or something like that in it. So you have a chance to make some bells, either black or blue-eyed, but combinations of other stuff that you really like. Obviously, the more genes that you add, the more different possible variations you can come up with. But also consider, if you have 4 genes in your female and 3 genes in your male, assuming that they don't wash the snake out and make an all-white snake, your odds are super low of hitting that 7 gene animal, and I don't even know if you would be able to tell a difference. But also consider on the other end of that spectrum, you have the same very small margin of hitting a normal too. So your odds are better of not producing normals, statistically speaking, with a higher gene or higher count male. So yeah, maybe if you like leopard, maybe buy like a leopard fire something or other, or something like that. So it's just whatever you think what you want to make. Do you learn more towards what the market is in demand for, or what you personally prefer? Lean. Alex, I think there needs to be a balance. If you intend to make some kind of marginal profit, even if it's just enough to sustain your collection and grow it, you have to obviously pay attention to what the market is doing a little bit. But in my opinion, you need to breed what you like. You need to breed for things that you want to breed. If you want to try to make something specific, do it. And your animals will sell if you produce quality, healthy animals, market yourself well. The market's leaning towards these 2 and 3 recessive combos, that's what the breeder market's doing. But my local show here in town, I'm not going to be able to sell a $6,000 clown pied to. So, but I can sell, banana pinstripe combos all day long. So you got to consider that too. But whatever you do, make sure you enjoy what you're making, or you're trying to make stuff that you like. I'm gonna try to get caught up here, guys. Sorry. Oh, you guys are talking to each other. Okay, that's cool. Good. No, I'm glad you guys are helping each other in the chat. A lot of breeders are saying, I like Ultramel better than Banana because it doesn't get the speckles and has similar bright colors. That's fair. I'll grant you that. Another one to look into, if you like that, is Candino, or Toffino, or even Toffee. If you don't know what those are, Toffee, Albino, and Candy are 3 independent recessive traits. However, they are allelic, which means that it's a acts-like super is what they call it. So they can take one copy of each and produce a visually different animal than a normal. So if you take a pied and you breed it to a clown, you get normals, all normals that are 100% carrier for pied and clown, one copy of each, obviously. In the case of, say, a Candino, if you take a visual Candy and a visual albino and breed them together, you don't get normals. You get Candinos, which are one copy of Candy, one copy of albino, but they don't look like a normal. It's another combination. Very similar to like what we were just talking earlier, or just a minute ago, the Bell complex. You take Lesser and Mojave, put them together, you don't get normals, you get white, blue-eyed leucistics. So look into Candino or Toffino, because they look very similar to bananas as well, and they obviously don't speckle either. See, like this looks very similar to a banana, but they don't get the freckles as well. And you've got recessives in this case. So you breed Candino to Candino, you can produce more Candinos. You can produce visual albinos, which will be much more white, obviously, and you can produce visual candies. So something to consider there too. And same thing with Toffino. The difference is it's just het toffee instead of het candy. Same idea. I like the freckles on bananas, to be honest with you. And I think banana is one of those traits that is kind of fallen off a little bit. And I'm still gonna have banana and everything. I love banana. But see, Toffino, very similar to a banana, but without any speckles. A lot of breeders are saying the spider gene needs to stop being produced and ultimately done away with completely. I disagree, but what is everyone else's opinion? Joshua, my opinion is very similar to Matt's, actually. If it was really that bad, nobody would breed it and nobody would buy it. It's that simple. I have 2 spider combos in my collection and 1 champagne combo in my collection. And there's others in that group that are similar, but I can't remember which ones they are. But I don't have any issues with them. My big spider female is great. She eats really well, has no issue. My lavender spider doesn't have the slightest bit of wobble, and she's super stable. I will say though, because she's albino, and albinos typically have a harder time seeing in the daylight, they're much more sensitive to light. When I feed, I've noticed that sometimes she misses, and if I take her hide and I just kind of block out the light and shadow her a little bit and then put the food in, she'll hit it every time. And I think that's an albino thing. It has nothing to do with spider. And my champagne male has no problem, no wobble whatsoever either. I think it's overblown. In fact, most of what I have seen personally in spiders and champagnes and whatnot have not had any problems. So I think it's way overstated. I'm going to continue to use spider because it does wonderful things in combos. Bridget says I want an orange dreamsicle pied. Yeah, you're telling me. I'm fingers crossed. I have pairing in right now for dreamsicles and pastel dreamsicles. They've been very cordial. I think I've seen 1 good lock and a couple of possibles. But yeah, especially when you put I don't know if you're talking specifically about the orange dreamsicle that Justin made. It's just insane. The orange is just crazy. Different list combos. I'm learning a lot lately. What do you suggest for an egg incubator? Actually, that video is coming as well, Bridget. Let me. I don't know if I can. Here, I'll just do it on my phone here. I like, because everything I do is DIY anyway. I like repurposing old coolers for my incubators. I have 2 of them, and I very possibly am going to pick up a third, not because I need it, because it's available. Um, in fact, if I do, I'm probably going to get rid of my Rockstar incubator that I have currently. But, um, but yeah, just for instance, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. So this is available about 2 hours from me, and it's just a display from a Pizza Hut actually that had soda, big soda, 2-liter bottles of soda, whatever in it, and it doesn't work anymore. The compressor doesn't work, so most of the time they end up in the dump or in junkyards for 50 or $100, whatever. You go pick up one of those. If it's insulated enough to keep cold in, it's insulated enough to keep heat in. So you get one of those, put some heat tape in the back, a circulating fan, and a thermostat. Bingo. So I am going to do a video. If I go pick that one up, I'll do a video, like a vlog going and get it. But I have the other Sobe one in my basement that I'll do the video on coming up here pretty soon. And it's an inexpensive way to do it, and it's done by hand, which is cool. Sea Serpent is a great one. I'm not going to say anything bad about Chris Nettles. I think he's fantastic, and the stuff he makes is really nice. It's just pricey. That's the only difference. But you do get Sea Serpent's customer service, so can't argue with that. Getting a super is a safe way of getting no normals. Getting a super is a guaranteed way of getting no normals. Keep that in mind. Let's say, for instance, it's a really expensive idea, but let's say you're just dead set on producing highways. If you had maybe 3 or 4 ivory females, which are the super yellow bellies, and then you saved up and you bought a super gravel male later on, you put that super gravel male to all of your ivories, and every single egg you produce will be a highway. Supers are the way to go when you're trying to do stuff specifically. These balls and exotics, welcome, buddy. I'm probably way behind. I'm catching up here, guys. Probably gonna go maybe another 5, 6, 8 minutes, something like that, and then we'll call it quits for the night. If you guys have any questions, drop them in here. We'll get them answered. I'm gonna do a little sticker giveaway here in just a minute too, so hang on for that. Do you have any display balls you keep in a tank shown off just as pet? No, not at the moment. And I don't know if I would with ball pythons, honestly. Everything I own is in tubs right now, rack systems. I don't have room in this specific house and setting for displays, but when we do move, whenever that is, I'm hoping to be able to have not a facility per se, but a snake like building, or the better part of a basement cordoned off for snakes, or in a shop or whatever. And in which case I'm going to get some really nice either vision displays or sea serpents displays, or what have you, some really nice plastic or PVC displays for my short-tail python, my Dumerals boa, my albino boa, and probably others that I end up with. I really want a carpet python. I want a really cool arboreal display, stuff like that. But everything I have right now is in tubs. And those animals not only will be for breeding, the display ones, those will be for educational shows, stuff like that. So I have a variety of species that I can show to the kids and whatnot. I think Candy has brighter colors. For some reason, Candinas tend to have more of a toffee look. Yeah, maybe. I've never seen one in person. I just know that they're cool looking. And it's recessive. Like I said, go recessive for sure. I've always worked with pied caramel, ghost, xanthic, and bananas. It's a good combo. I need to get into a xanthic. I've never seen a lavender spider. What does she look like? Stand by. I will show you a picture. Let's see if I can do this without it being all over the screen. Hang on. Stand by show you. She's in my last video too, just in case you haven't seen it. All of my other snakes video. This is a lavender spider. In this case, this is a lavender spider, 66% possible head for pied as well. This is part of my dreamsicle project, and hopefully to make what I want to call spider sickles, which should, because of what spider tends to do in pied, should be just the head and a white body. Or if it's got spider in it, it's possible I could get an all white snake, and in which case if I have an all white snake with red eyes, then I know that it is a spider lavender pied. Otherwise, if there's no lavender, it would be all white, called a white wedding, which would be a spider pied. But yeah, that's one picture, and then I took this one. I really love her head stamp. It's just crazy. Got her from Justin Kabilka, JKR, obviously. Some of the best lavender albino and pied stuff on the market for sure. But this is Phoebe. She's a little tiny thing, but she's eating really well. So, what else we got? Oh, I missed some question. Oh, there we go. I'd love to have an albino black ball. Yeah, those things are nuts. The red ball. Strangely, it came out a few years ago, and I haven't seen any on the market. Just wrote the guy who owns the Florida Reptile to see if they are planned soon. I don't know if they're in the States yet or not. I heard they were coming that direction, but it's in Poland, if I remember correctly. The black ball and the albino black ball, which is called the red ball. Yeah, this is what he's talking about. This is a terrible picture, but anyway, it's called the red ball. So there's this recessive gene over in Poland somewhere that they're calling black ball. These are probably all going to be super black pastels and super cinnamons. Yeah. Anyway, there's a recessive over there. It's called black ball, and it's almost entirely black. But when you put albino to it, which is make it double recessive, it comes out red, which is really cool. It's just like bright red. It's nuts. What we got here? Where'd it go? Did I skip it? There we go. What are your opinions on VPI versus SK? Xanthic, I see everybody producing VPI, but every SK I see seems brighter and higher quality. I think that has a lot to do with line breeding. I don't know enough to tell you honestly, and I don't have any evidence to prove one way or another. John Dogue has hands down the brightest white and highest contrast TSK stuff out there by far, but he's intentionally breeding for that. You know, he breeds out, produces however many SK Xanthics, and then he keeps the highest quality and brightest white ones he's got, raises them up, and breeds them. And you do that enough, and you're going to get pure white and pure black. VPI tends to be more readily available. It's a larger market share, so therefore the prices are down a little bit. But depending on the quality of the breeders, obviously the quality of the parents, some VPI stuff looks kind of brown and washed out. I do know, however, that Daniel Allison at Constriction Addiction has some VPI Xanthic stuff that would stand toe-to-toe with John Dogue's TSK stuff all day long. So, and I'm not 100% convinced that they're not compatible. That's just an opinion, a theory of mine, because from what I understand, TSK, way back in the day when they started the Xanthic stuff, took a het TSK and bred it to a het VPI, het to het, and did not produce any visual Xanthics. That does not mean they're not compatible. That's the only attempt at comparing them, or combining them rather, that I've heard of. I could be totally wrong, but that's the only one that I've heard of. The only way, without a shadow of a doubt, to prove that they're not compatible is take a visual TSK and a visual VPI and put them together and see what happens. If you get 100% normals, they are without a doubt not compatible. But a het-to-het pairing does not guarantee that. Because you could put het pied to het pied and still get normals. The odds are against you, but it's possible. So that's just my 2 cents on it all. I might try it, just cause. I might get a VPI and a TSK and just try it. What's to lose? What's a pastel orange dream look like? I don't know, but if you want orange dream, go check out Ozzy Boyd's stuff. His stuff is nuts. He's got the best orange dream in the game. Everything? Am I caught up now? Yeah, I figured I'm actually due to receive a GHI. Oh, that'll be sweet. The GHI Xanthic stuff. Did you see the super GHI Xanthic that he just produced that he took to Tinley? That thing was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Alright guys, we've been doing 42 minutes. I'll tell you what. For those of you that are still hanging out, I'm going to ask a couple questions here. I have a big stack of our stickers. Get these now because these are going to be changing. That's all I'm going to say. So these are going to be like the stage 1, the prime stickers, the originals. So all right. Couple of questions here. Let's ask a couple questions. I'll send some stickers your guys' way. Actually, I have a couple of these too, so maybe I'll put one of each in the envelope or whatever. I got a couple of these ones too. I really like this design. These are cool. Little die cut ones. All right. Auto-corrected pastel dreamsicle. All right, I'll pull up. Actually, there might be some in here. While I'm doing that, let's see what. All right, this will test if you guys have been watching the videos or not. What strain? No, that's gonna be too easy. Who remembers what Jameson's genetics are? What are Jameson's genetics? See if you guys know that. And while we're waiting for some answers, I just come here to hate myself and realize that I'm broke. This stuff's just nuts. Here's a pastel dreamsicle. They have much lighter heads, I've noticed that. No, Bridget, not banana. That's not Jameson. That one's Kevin. A pewter lavender het pied. Jeez. Ridiculous. Justin just made a GHI lavender too, I think. I'll have to go look that up. Okay, I'll give you guys a hint. If you can't remember, Jameson is the albino boa that I have, but he's got more than albino in him. Fingers crossed, man. I'm just trying to hit one of these. Just trying to hit one of these this year. That'd be incredible. Actually, let's go to Justin's Instagram page while we're waiting. This thing. This is what I was talking about. Super GHI Lav. Just nuts. Okay, we'll change it up. Different question for you guys that are still watching. What was the first snake that we got? What kind and what was his name? This thing's just ridiculous. Although I say that every time I open this page. Seems like I just can't fathom what this is. I just no. Oh, come on, you guys got to know what the OG is, what the first one was. Hypo Desert Ghost. Jeez. Hey, how nice of you to join us, Jordan. Jordan, you might remember the answer. The question we have posed right now for a couple of stickers. What was the first snake in the Morph Mixology collection? What's his name and what kind is he? No pumpkin patch. Actually, believe it or not, the two normals that I have were some of the most recent, some of the last ones I acquired, funny enough. Simba wasn't the first. Jordan, come on, you know better than that. What is this? Leopard, Blackhead, Mojave, Hidden Gene Woma, Yellow Belly. Interesting. The pumpkin patch, just the morph is fine too, if you know. He's like the hallmark of our channel and our brand. He's the first one we had. Leopard, Phantom, Blackhead, Clown, maybe. No, not a Lucy. Actually, I don't have any Lucy's. I have one that's similar. I have a pin potion. That's close. That was the second. I'll tell you what. What does that say? Gift bearer. I'll give you. Send me a message on Instagram with your YouTube handle. I'll send you some stickers anyway. That one. That's close. That was the second one. The pin potion. Guess I need to take notes on your channel. That's all right, Pumpkin Patch. Send me a message on Instagram. I'll send you one anyway. The first one was, of course, Kevin, the banana, the OG. That's all right. No big deal. I don't have any Paradox stuff. I do want to produce some, hopefully. That'll be nice. Hey, DW. How you doing? All right, guys. It's getting late here, and I still have to work in the morning really early, so... thanks for coming out and watching, hanging out with me. I'm going to try to do these weekly if I can, just to hang out. And they won't necessarily all be in this sit-down setting, on the computer. I might do a run and gun on my phone, maybe do one from the snake room. I don't know, we'll see. So if you guys enjoy it, of course, hit the like button and share, obviously. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already. The merch link is in the description. However, if you want to hold off just a little bit, that's fine. Like I said, these are going to be changing, and so are our shirts. So it might be wise just to stay tuned on that one. Make sure you like us on Instagram and Facebook. Follow us along. We do have stuff cooking, hopefully. We got pairings going on. So fingers crossed we're going to have clutches coming pretty soon, and we'll get this show running. Thanks, guys, for coming by. We'll see you next week.